Hey there folks, welcome to Pick's Place. This is our 5th episode already. Can you believe it? Absolutely amazing. Go ahead and grab you a barley sandwich and sit around the circle, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you a couple of little stories. So the first one is, I haven't told you about who's on the other side of the camera. Well, that's my 15-year-old daughter, and when she's unavailable, out hanging with her friends, my wife steps in. The gals really give me a hand, and I really appreciate it. They do the picture taking, the editing, all that kind of wonderful stuff. And it's really, really helpful. So today we have a 1995 Mustang GT. Now the story behind this one is, the fellow that owned it had either moved out of his property or was evicted. I'm not sure which. But alas, the landlord, by law in Ontario, has to hold the possessions at the property for 30 days for the person to come back and get it. Well, he never showed back up after 30 days, so the landlord is allowed to dispose of it. So he contacted a tow truck company, which my father-in-law happened to work for at the time, and they towed it back to the compound, and it has to sit there for 60 days, again, an Ontario legal law. After 60 days, the owner still had not showed up to claim his vehicle. So at that point, it becomes property of the tow trucking company. They didn't know what they wanted to do with it. It was quite dilapidated, did not have a very good paint job. It was all faded. There was a bit of rust on it, didn't run. So they were actually just going to scrap it, throw it in the junkyard. Well, my father-in-law stepped in and said he'd like to buy it and pay scrap value for it, and he was going to restore it. And that's just what he did. So it's hard to tell you the rest of the story without pictures, which he's kicking himself in the butt for. He didn't take one. So there's a lesson for you kids. If you're going to buy a vehicle and you're going to fix it up, always, always, always take pictures. It's a great memorabilia to have to show friends, families, grandkids, great-grandkids, etc., etc. At any rate, as I mentioned, it had needed a lot of work. So it all got done, including a brand new fresh paint job. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. I hope you enjoy it. So this puppy has the famous 5-liter Ford engine. Pumps out about 215 horsepower. The other Mustangs came with a 3.8 V6, which had 145 horsepower. There was also a 5-liter Cobra, which came with 240 horsepower, or the 5.8 V8 Cobra R, which was 305 horsepower. Let's start her up and go for a ride. I just love the sound of the Mustang.